3 announcement before we start. Go check out What If Naruto's the Next Stage of 6 Path on my second channel Anime King 2. I'll be leaving the link at the top of the description. And go check out What If Naruto had the full Kurama on my second channel as well. And on this channel, go check out What If Naruto Went Back in Time Part 7, and I hope you enjoy. But for now, I'm going to be giving you Part 65 of What If Naruto Went Dark. Get this 1 to 100 like as usual. Remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Start the intro. So basically, last time we left off, Zabuza took Naruto place in the meeting where he told all of the Kages that it doesn't matter, Wave will do whatever they please. If they decide to not join the war, they will. If they decide to join it when they want, they will, and they will run it how they want, because they have the strongest ninjas in Wave, and the rest of the allied shinobi forces need their help. After the meeting was over, Zabuza was waiting outside because he had sensed something inside. He knew that there was a spy inside there, where Kisame came out of the sword Samihata and went off in the forest to get away from here with all of the information that he gathered today. But he was stopped by a large sword dropping in the ground in front of him as Zabuza arrived. Zabuza told him that he cannot let him go any farther, because he heard everything about their battle strategies with all of the allied shinobi forces and what's going to happen. So basically that was the last part, but you guys can go across the playlist and check out all the other parts for yourself. And yeah, remember to go and check out my second channel Anime King 2, link will be at the top of the description. So let's get straight in this part. Zabuza then got into a Kenjutsu stance with his sword. Oh, you wish to fight? You know that you have what is considered to be the weakest sword out of the 7 blades. How can you possibly beat the strongest sword? Said Kisame as he readied himself. I promise you, you won't be disappointed in my skills, said Zabuza. Kisame said. Well, how have you been in the last few years? Still following that fox leader of yours? Said Kisame actually wanted to get to know something about Zabuza before starting the fight. Yeah, Zabuza started to laugh. I heard what he did to you when you two first met. Naruto told us that he had you begging for mercy. He told us that you shouted that you didn't want to die a virgin. You still haven't hit anything in all of your years, Zabuza said while laughing. Shut up, shouted Kisame as his face turned red. You know good and well that I have problem with females. Apparently it seems. And you will die a virgin here. Now, growl out Zabuza. Are you still mad at me for calling you weak all those years ago? Yelled out Kisame, as he then put on a serious face as he got into a Kenjutsu stance, ready to prove me wrong. The two didn't move for a while. Then out of nowhere they jumped at each other, as they both slammed their swords into each other, creating an effect, both of them jumping back. Zabuza then threw his sword up in the air as Kisame looked at it. He then looked to see where Zabuza was, but he was gone. Kisame then felt a hard punch in his back and then a kick to the side of his head as he was sent hurtling back. Zabuza jumped up in the air as he grabbed his sword and launched it straight towards Kisame. Kisame jumped out of the way and backing down. Well, you have gotten faster and stronger. You have changed. That is excellent. Let's see if you still can keep up with me. It's not the time to play games, said Zabuza as he jumped over Kisame and went through some hand signs. Water, bowl, and a jet of water came out of his hand, flying towards Kisame at top speed. Tch, that's nothing, Kisame stated as he used his sword and swiped the water in half, as each half dropped right beside of him. You really have gotten better, but not good enough, said Kisame as he appeared right beside Zabuza. He kicked Zabuza in the back and slammed him down to the ground. The real Zabuza then emerged from the trees and said, "Yes, I have." Kisame looked down at the water clone as he grabbed it by the neck, sucking out the chakra, and then it turned into a puddle of water. Zabuza then jumped up in the air as he ran through some hand signs. Water style, water missile jutsu, as he fired water missiles down towards Kisame. Kisame did the same as well as he ran through some hand signs and said shark missile jutsu, as he created water shark in a missile form running towards Zabuza missile. As the both of them slammed together, the both of them cancelled out each other as Zabuza then jumped out of the tree. As he stood on his feet, "Well, you were quick to cancel that out," said Zabuza, "but how are you going to keep up with this one?" As Kisame looked him dead in the eyes, as Kisame didn't know what he was talking about. Something then hit Kisame right in the face, as he was hit in the face again. Then he was uppercutted in the ear. Then he was slammed down into the ground. He was then grabbed by his Akatsuki robe and thrown straight up in the air, as a fury of Senbon water needles were coming at him as they pierced right through him, tearing his Akatsuki top robe off. He ended up slamming down into the ground as he leaned up against a tree. "What was that?" he said. As Zabuza said, "That was my new special technique. I've been working on it with Naruto for a very long time now. And thanks a lot to Haku. He really helped me. Invisible, mirror water style," said Zabuza, as then you can see the reflection of an invisible Zabuza out of water walk up to the original, as he put his hand on the original, being absorbed back into the original's body. Kisame then lied down there on the ground as he looked up at Zabuza. That was really effective and it damaged him a lot so early in the fight. But then Kisame smiled. Zabuza turned around to see Samihata coming at him. He swung his sword straight into Samihata's face. Samihata opened his mouth and bit right through the sword as he launched on right on Zabuza's hand, sucking the chakra out of him. Zabuza then said, "Water style, water vanishing jutsu," as he turned to a puddle of water, as the puddle then sank down into the ground. The sword then went straight over the Kisame, who grabbed it and sucked all of the chakra out as he regained his form and his wound was healing. He then got back up as the water puddle then came from the ground as Zabuza reformed. He was looking a bit shaky. That sword has absorbed a lot of his chakra. He then looked at his hand as he then said seed release, as he could feel all of his chakra coming back to him. He had stored up lots of his chakra really, into a containment seal so he could replenish his chakra if he was out. Kisame spared no time as he said, water dome jutsu, as he let out a rapid flow of water out of his mouth, creating a huge water dome surrounding the both of them. He then morphed in the water into a shark, as Zabuza was basically a water type, able to use water abilities as well, so he was able to hold his breath underwater for very long. Kisame then rushed towards Zabuza with full speed. Zabuza was caught completely off guard when Kisame was in his shark form. As he slammed Zabuza from left to right, Zabuza was now bleeding. As the blood came from him and flowed in the water, creating the red surface around him. Kisame was moving at top speed. Zabuza couldn't keep up. At this new look and this level, Zabuza was actually losing to Kisame. As Zabuza then thought, Haku, I shouldn't have sent you away. I really need your help right now. But I cannot die. I cannot die. I cannot die. Zabuza yelled out as he think about Azunami. He was dating her back at Wave. As he think about Haku, Naruto, and everyone. As he then regained his composure, Kisame rushed towards him again as he was launching at the man. Zabuza opened his eyes as he slammed his fist right into Kisame's sharp nose as Kisame backed back a little bit. Zabuza then smiled and said, I wanted to try this out for a very long time now. Me and Naruto has been working on this, but I never met someone who I have to use it on yet. So, let's do this. Zabuza then slammed both of his hands together as he started to infuse a lot of chakra as it started to engulf him, turning his skin into a reddish color and then turn it into a silver as it looked like scales really. What is that? Said Kisame as he looked at Zabuza. The water right around Kisame then got hotter as he felt the enormous amount of chakra coming off of Zabuza, making the water boil. There was a huge puff and an explosion, but the water don't stay in contact as Zabuza then came out of it. He was now a water dragon with his whole body silver lines running down. He had red on his lower half as his teeth sharp. It resembled a shark, and his face has wide eyes with a split coming down like a snake with red around it and yellow in the middle with the split. He looked at Kisame as Kisame said, What are you? Well, you're a shark, but I am a dragon. As Zabuza moved at an incredible speed that Kisame was unable to keep up with. Kisame felt something hit him right in the midsection. Zabuza's tail made contact. As Kisame was going down into water, Zabuza's tail held on to him, bringing him back up. As when he was face to face with Zabuza, Zabuza said, Water missile, dagger in, spears as he released some water spears coming down as they drill straight down into Kisame as they pierced his skin as blood was coming from him. Kisame back off as the water missile slammed through the water and slammed into the ground, creating a huge impact. You have gotten stronger, Kisame said with a proud smile on his face. They were friends once, but they turned enemy, so he knew that he had to push himself and go all out because Zabuza is not playing around anymore. Zabuza then started spinning in his dragon form furiously as he rushed down at Kisame. Kisame sighted as the dragon pierced straight through the ground. Kisame then smirked and said he needs water to be that strong, but now that he's on the earth, he's nothing to me. He was surprised when Zabuza pierced right back through the earth and pierced through the water dome and came straight back at him as Zabuza came at him with such a force that it hit him straight out of the water. Zabuza then smiled in his water dragon form and said time to finish this as Kisame was sent soaring up in the air. Zabuza jumped straight out of the water. He then de-transformed and returned back to normal, and with the last amount of chakra he has in his body, he said, Let's end this. As Kisame was coming down with a fury, Kisame was coming down with him, trying to kill him with one strike, but Zabuza was prepared. Zabuza was coming down as well. Kisame pushed forward, coming to Zabuza. He made contact and stabbed Zabuza right in the stomach, but then something activated as water engulfed Kisame. Kisame was trapped. He tried to come out of it, but it was so dense that he couldn't come out of the water, as he could feel that his breath was getting shorter and shorter. How it is possible? Water is my element. Well, this is a different kind of water that I created, Zabuza said with a smile, as he then said, reveal. As paper bombs surrounded the water turned to pure paper bomb as it made a dome around Kisame. As Zabuza said goodbye, friend. As he said ignite. As all of the paper bombs exploded, Zabuza jumped back a far distance. It wiped out everything in that area, creating rumbles through the air as the Hokages and the Kages who were there could feel the attack and the strength behind of it. When everything was over, Zabuza jumped back. As he came there, he saw that Kisame was still on his feet. His body was bruised and battered, and he was crawling, pushing himself coming towards Zabuza. As Zabuza then reached for his sword, as he said, let's end this, shall we? As both of them runched towards each other. When Kisame made a swipe and Zabuza made a swipe, the both of them then stopped in their directions. As Kisame coughed up some blood, Zabuza's also coughed up blood. As Kisame looked up in the air and said finally, this is a proper end for me. You have become stronger, my friend. As he looked at Zabuza, he then turned around as there was a huge gaping slash in his chest. It severed most of his organs as Zabuza's blade was leaking as the blood around it. The blood infused the blade and made it grow back. As Kisame dropped on his knees as Zabuza walked up to him, I'm sorry it had to end this way, but you will always be my friend. As the both of them shared a small chuckle as Kisame's eyes rolled back as he dropped dead. And that was the end of the tailless, tail beast, Kisame. He was now dead. Days later in Wave, all of the Wave ninjas stood outside as they were looking at the sky having their last moment of peace. Naruto and Kurama stood at the front. We will win, shouted Naruto. It doesn't matter what happened in this war. With our combined forces, nothing will be able to take us down. We are Wave. We are there for each other when we need help. We are the family that has grown over time. We are the people that has grabbed the world's attention. So now, let's go out there and fight for it, Naruto shouted as all of them cheered and raved. So, let's start this thing, said Naruto. As the people in there standing, days has passed so Zabuza has been healing up. We start with Zabuza, Haku, then Dosu, Kin, Fu, Zaku, Yakumo, Jirobo, Kidamaru, Teiwaya, Sakan, Ukan, Fuka, Guren, Pakura, Karin, Shigetsu, and Jugo, Aisaraibi, Anko. So, what do you say? We go out there and win this war, Naruto said as everyone shouted. Few minutes later, alright people, straight file line, shouted Teiwaya as she had a clipboard. Roll call. What do we need roll call for? Everyone is here, said Karin. Because you dumb witch. Do you even know where you are supposed to be positioned during the war? You don't even know, do you? Shouted Teiwaya. Now, for the first squad, we have No Eyebrows Man, laughed Teiwaya. It's Zabuza, you idiot little girl, shouted a very angry Zabuza. Yeah, Teiwaya said as she chuckled. She then called out Pakura, Anko, Haku, and herself. No, said Naruto. Zabuza is the leader for the time being. How does he get to play leader? Said Anko. Because he won't play on the battlefield like you, said Naruto. Teiwaya then called out Dosu, Zaku, Karin, and Jugo as she started to call out the member of Wave in their sequence and the leader of that group. After she was finished, Naruto gave another speech. Tell all of them to watch each other's backs and make sure that their partners and their group members are safe out there. As Naruto then said, "Everyone, come back alive, okay?" As he smiled to them all. As all of them were happy, they are going to set out for war now, but they just got an inspiring speech from their leader. So, all of them had to come back alive. But guys, I'm gonna end this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now, guys. Peace.